Hi guys, namaste. So I'm switching things up. I'm happy, I'm peaceful, I'm on the other side. I've had crazy enlightenments, I've had crazy coincidences, I've had crazy synchronicities, all of it to bring me hunkered down, solid in, digging my heels into my faith. So I'm all pumped up, and I've had 2 coffees. Actually, I'm drinking my second coffee, but there was a time when COVID first started that we were all in this house all of a sudden, and we were actually all sick, and we were all kind of getting on each other's nerves, and I had quit coffee during the whole 5 weeks that we were really sick, but after that, I started drinking coffee again. It just I'm not going to say coffee is awesome for you. I drink it in the morning, but something about it just gives you that boost you need. And I was craving it today. And something about a nice coffee and the song I'm going to play, and the two of them together just makes me happy. And so I've been listening to it and drinking coffee, and I thought, darn it, I'm just going to do a video. I was so tired yesterday, and it's called burnout. Don't let yourself get to burnout when you're trying to figure out things. So that fire, that eclipse, all of that was just whoosh, we burnt it all out. And then I crashed. And I crashed hard. And I had a really wonderful sleep last night because Merlin wasn't here, so I was sleeping on my own. And woke up very happy. Wake up, you sleepyheads. Let's do some yoga. So, not too much talking, but not that I'm really going to just censor myself forever. I am being mindful. But that video that I did, or that I tried to do about Jezebel yesterday, just keeps sort of on my mind, and that it came with the song we're going to do because Jezebel apparently tried to start a cult and reform the Israelites away from God. And I remember when I started my Thai yoga massage training with Cam Thai Chow, who is, world renowned. But I remember we sat in his kitchen because I worked for him. And I remember he used to make us lunch, and I remember when he made us lunch one time, and I remember the moment when he realized that we were becoming a cult, Lotus Palm Thai Yoga Massage of Montreal. And he was working so hard to start this whole big group, and we were expanding and moving into a location and all this stuff. And he was like, whoa, we're becoming a cult. And then he was like, everything's a cult. It's okay. And then he got really into the cult mindset and the leader mindset of the whole negative aspect of it, of wanting us to follow him blindly. And that's when me and another wonderful girl colleague of mine, the two girls, we got up and we walked out, because as soon as somebody starts saying to you, do this or you will never, there's a problem. There's a big problem with power, and that has always really upset me. And that goes back, now I've realized, to something I experienced in my youth, but how everything is energy and we draw in these experiences. And so we are personally responsible for our lives. Everything that we think occurs in reality. And I got this book called The Seed of the Soul once by Gary Zukav. It changed my whole life. And I shared it with a few people, and it changed their whole lives. And it's like this explosive, it will change your life. It came back to me a couple of years ago, and I was scared to read it actually again, because I knew it was going to change my life. And it's it opens your eyes to recognize your soul, your little inner child, is trying to tell you, not me, not anyone else. It's trying to tell you, take care of it. It's up to you now. We can't go around saying, well, I was abused as a kid, so now I abuse. It's we have the power to change our lives around at any moment. And if we're drawing in negative experiences, it's because we are having negative emotions, and emotions is energy in motion. And so all of that's percolating inside, and we attract that. And so that's a big thing to realize in the law of attraction. And it's not just nothing. And you can't just delve into the law of attraction and then say, I'm only going to do it a little bit. It doesn't work like that. once you wake up and you recognize that you are personally responsible for every single thought that comes into your mind or not, that is your power. Your power is relative. It's up to you to change it. But that comes with valuing yourself. And so first and foremost, you have to take care of yourself in order to value yourself. So it comes right back to the inner child and taking care of that inner child and listening to that inner child. Because we can get, right, totally confused by the ego. Or we get dragged along in compliments, or we get distracted with negativity and the darkness. But all in all, that is still up to us. We still have to take that personal responsibility. And so again, this eclipse, whoosh, pulled the wool off of our eyes and showed us, how are you responsible in your life? So I had a friend's dad, who I'm still really close to, ask me to pray for my friend a couple of weeks ago. He's just sort of Facebook messages, they just kind of pop into your world. And it really got me thinking, because I was like, well, what are my prayers really going to do for him if he doesn't want to change in any way whatsoever? And I thought, I don't want to waste my energy on that. I think I even mentioned it in a video. I know I mentioned it to a friend, but so anyway, it is wonderful to pray for other people, and it does affect them, it does. And so I was sending him light and love, and I do that. And that is one of the things of Reiki. And once you realize you're a healer, you sort of always want to be healing everybody else, but then again, you're responsible for your energy, so you do have to pull back and replenish, which is what I do in the sun. And in just opening up to inspirations and celestial inspirations to have a bigger picture, because we always get sucked into things, right? And when I say go with the flow, I think lately I've been saying these are the energies, let's just go with them. But we do have to be careful. We do have to think for ourselves. Not from the ego's protection, fear, paranoia, worrying. We have to pull back, recenter, come back to the mat, and discern for yourself, which is a big lesson that Jesus tried to teach. Speaking of Jesus and ascended masters, and the number 33 has just been following me around. And I love numerology, I love energy, I love figuring things out like that. But anyway, Jesus really did try to teach us to think for ourselves. And that is not following a cult. And Jezebel, who knows what she was up to? I think she was trying to say, don't just follow religion. Why am I screaming? Don't just follow the rules that were set out to us by patriarchal dominance. Anytime there's superiority or control or dominance going on, those are the times when you'll hear, do this or you'll never. And maybe she was just trying to say, maybe we don't have to listen to that. Maybe we could think for ourselves. Because I know these two girls that I grew up with, and oh my God, if you know these two girls, I'm not going to mention their names, but they're amazing, I'll say. They're amazing. They're beautiful souls. They're beautiful girls. And I grew up with them, and they've got me into some trouble, but again, right, we have to take responsibility. But they liked to listen to Depeche Mode, and I never did. I was never into Depeche Mode at all. But Personal Jesus came to me today, and we're going to listen to that, because we do all have to have our own personal Jesus, which isn't relying on something else. It's literally filling yourself up with light, not having that emptiness, not listening to what everybody else is saying, not just following the crowd blindly, not just going into the cults because you feel weak and it's making you feel strong. You're not just staying with one friend because that person is dragging you on in their emotions or their dreams. Often I get swept away in other people's dreams, or I play the role and I don't realize it. We have to step back and come back and discern, what do I believe? What do I think? What do I want to do? Because when I started praying for my friend, instead I started praying for me. Anyway, these two girls always inspired me. One of them, the older sister, she had home births. and she was very into visualization, and I really admired that. She was really all about, you picture your birth going wonderfully, and it does. And then I did it. She inspired me very much into midwifery. It's interesting. But that does go along with the whole manifestation. If we believe something is going to happen for the best, it will. If we visualize it for the best, it will. We have to watch what we think. And these two girls, if anybody has ever thought for themselves, it's these two girls. Don't go telling them to think something else, because they won't. Anyway, I'm happy that I knew them. And everybody in our lives shapes us and inspires us in one way or another. We have to be grateful for everything. Gratitude is where it's at, really. I can't stop smiling. Anyway, I hope my happiness isn't offending anyone out there, because I just think it's all funny. And we do have to laugh at life, and that is how we raise our vibrations, and actually not focus on all of, the things we've done, but learn our lessons and dive into our future. Even if that's uncomfortable or scary or unknown, once we learn to think for ourselves and not just trust other people, but trust ourselves, I think first we have to learn to trust ourselves. And then it will be easy to have faith in the others. What's not easy is having faith in ourselves, right? Or listening to ourselves. But ourselves, our little souls, are trying to say, please, please, please. And it will scream at you until you listen. Don't follow the crowd. What do you think? What do you yourself think? And as a rebel, as a punker, I'm not punk, right? I'm a bohemian. I just said that in my writings. But that I love the punk spirit. I really do. I really, really do. And my son's even has that punk spirit, and so does his dad, and so does his dad's wife, and she's like tattooed all over. She's Bruce Goldberg's daughter, so talk about bohemian punk. Zubin's dad is very bohemian, and she's very punk. That's funny. Zubin is very bohemian punk. I love that. Anyway, I'm just feeling silly. Okay, let's do a practice. Let's do some yoga. Okay, but anyway, when I started to pray for me, I'll just finish this story. When I started to pray for me, this is the most amazing thing. You're praying to your inner God, and you're like, I was praying to Jesus, but I was like, Jesus represents your inner God. And what can you do differently? And I do know that if we think of something for, speaking of these dates, 16, 17 seconds or more, we're screwed. I'm just joking. If it's negative, yeah, we're going to bring that into happening. So don't ponder, don't ruminate on things. Don't think about things for too long. Be aware. Watch them come in. Watch your thoughts come in. Is that positive or negative? If it's negative, whoosh it out of your head. Back to sender. Back to sender. We can literally create car accidents this way. If we just think of ourselves, it's like self-fulfilling prophecies. If we think of things too long, so what we visualize really does happen. So visualize your future. And I don't mean live in the future or always be looking forward to the next thing, because we do have to be grounded and present right now. We have to pull back, discern. So get grounded, get your roots. What I didn't have before was roots. Oh, I should do a video to that. Got some roots. Anyway, today I really, really am so grateful to one particular person. And a couple of weeks ago, I started to pray, and I do believe in the higher power. I do believe in Jesus. When I really, really, really needed guidance, I was really, really, really needed guidance, and I had lost faith in my own instincts and what I thought, my own intuition. I was blocking myself off because I was trying to overcome a situation that had power over me. And when you're trying to overcome that situation, that's when that power turns around and says, oh yeah, well, you will never. And it makes you feel really shitty about yourself. So it's so hard to pull ourselves up in those moments. And so I was going through that kind of thing, and I was really trying to freaking pull up my own freaking boots and have my own thoughts. And I knew I had to get out of that world so that I could become clear with it, but I was really praying. And in that time, I made a couple, again, sort of brazen videos about ex-soulmates that had come to open up my eyes. And I don't know why I was doing that, because all of a sudden, somebody came back to me that I really needed to come back to me, and he just like so happily high vibed. He was like, "Hey, how about you listen to this song?" And I was like, "Hey, okay, cool." And the song blew my freaking world apart. It blew everything up, and it was just like, I listened to it once and I was like, holy F, I can't listen to that. It's like sometimes we don't want to see the truth. Sometimes we don't want to know the truth. But I know a lot of people that hate Tom York. And to be honest, those are people that I don't know if I trust because, oh, God, I love him. I love him so much. I think that guy is Jesus. He's my personal Jesus. Anyway, the song is called You Will Never Work in Television Again, and I just can't. I can't get it onto my Alexa, but I just couldn't ever actually take that song. It's the best song in the whole freaking world. It's been on repeat. This morning I listened to, so happened to find this funny reality YouTube guy called Professor Sky. Check him out, and he analyzes songs, and he did the song. And because Tom York's new band is called The Smile, which is, I just found so ironic because he does not smile. Then I watched, though, he really loves his new band. And I watched like a live version that he did, and he was on stage, and he was so happy to be back on stage singing his music with his new, they're three guys. I'm just like, powerhouse, man. It's like the best. It's like the best. It's like that song he was angry and he wrote it, and they wanted to burst through, and they freaking did. They burst through my whatever illusionary world I was in. And I hope that song just fucking burst through everybody. So take a listen. I highly recommend it. I could never, it's just even almost too personal to share and do anything with that, but it's just been on repeat. And anyway, I watched this live Tom York doing another song of The Smiles, and when he's introducing his new band, The Smiles, he smiles. It's actually really nice to see him smiling. I had a job in a catering company from the small town I'm from here in Montreal, and those guys, it was so nice to work with kind of my homies, which is funny because I got that job through a friend from Poland who's now my soul sister. Anyway, shout out to her. I miss you, Maria. I hope you're good. Remember that catering job? We used to do weddings, and it was all along the edges on the river of Montreal in these big beautiful houses. I loved it. What am I saying about them? Oh, the cook, he used to say to me that my smile was my best asset. And I don't know how I felt about that. I felt it was a little bit of objectifying. But now I know this guy on Instagram who's in Bangkok with his family traveling around, Nathan Asher Creations, I think it's called. So follow him. He's amazing, amazing photographer. But he takes pictures of people smiling, and they're just glowing. And I just think, really, maybe smiles are people's it's how they show their spirit anyway. So check out The Smile, the band. They're amazing. Amazing. And that song is the best song. I didn't like it at first, but all songs I don't like at first, I freaking love. And just this friend. And Maria, we had a hard time at first, didn't we? Anyway, when you know the people that are your people deep down, you know. And I'm so grateful that that song came to me when it did, and it shattered my whole world. And I've never been happier, actually, since this whole eclipse. It was difficult to realize all that, it was, but we're not focusing on any of that anymore. I've already had just amazing magic happen to push me forward. And so the Israelites and Desmond Decker, and I can just, Jesus, what can I say? He's out there, he's in here. When we learn meditation, really, when you look inside, you know what's inside? The whole damn universe. And that's the magic. Okay, I'm going to point it up. I know I'm a little bit silly today. I'm sorry. It's better than yesterday. I was really sort of needing that violet light. Holy jeez. Okay. So, have a coffee, enjoy your morning, and a nice flow to Desmond Decker and the Israelites. It's my favorite reggae song. It always will be. Alexa, play The Israelites by Desmond Decker.
Here's Israelites by Desmond Decker on Amazon Music.
Get up in the morning, slaving for bread, sir, so that every mouth can be fed. Oh, me Israelites, get up in the morning, slaving for bread, sir, so that every mouth can be fed. Oh, me Israelites.
Short and sweet. Keeping life simple now. I'm in my California beachy leggings today. Wish I could just go surfing. I tried to surf on the wave here in Montreal. It's freaking hard. You gotta have strong arms to get out of that river. There's a really crazy current in that river. Sorry, I forgot to bring my actual water around, so... Oh, no, it's there. It's mine. I got excited. This is me excited. Cheers. I have a job interview later, too. I'm very happy with that. I am still doing massages. Thai yoga massages. Here. Case by case. I do feel that is a calling. This is a calling. We all have lots of callings, maybe. I've always had like 2, 3, 4 jobs. I have lots of interests. And really, when we're re-sparking ourselves into life, it's good to just get creative. Use that angry energy and switch your perspective, and get creative. What you cannot control, you can create. And so that inner spark of life, that hopefully you like cleared through the fog and the haze and the devil and the negativity, and you got to the other side where you were at the top of the mountain. You can see now a little bit more clearly. And you want to be healthy and you want to be happy, and that's free. That is how you just keep it simple. Always come back to your center. Take a little time out when you need it. Have faith. And always be striving in your virtues. Realize your own value. And that your time is precious. Your time is money. Nobody can just treat you the way they want to, or treat you like a doormat, or disrespect you. And once you ask for that kind of respect, you'll start to receive it. Because your soul will come back to you and it will say thank you. And that's the smile. That's the heart smile. That's the shine. That's the glow. That's your personal Jesus. Don't be looking outward to fill that. And don't leave that space open for other people to come in and fill. I know I've definitely been carried along as the lead role in other people's dreams. And we can get mentally manipulated into that. We can get emotionally manipulated into that just by feeling sorry for people or caring too much. Or an empath, we like take on these things, but we really have to watch that. Our power is our own. And when you get that sense of something icky going on or you don't quite trust, listen to that. It's not, don't let other people say that you don't know what you know. Because you know what you know. Okay, I'm going to shut up. I just want you all to recognize your own value. Don't be following anything necessarily that I say or that anybody else is saying. Don't follow anybody blindly. Listen to yourself. Be your own personal Jesus. That is actually the punk rebellious thing to do now. And then after I go off and listen to some Tom York. Alexa, play Personal Jesus by Depeche Mode.
Here's Personal Jesus, 2006 remaster
It's loud, but we're
by
gonna
Depeche
listen to it
Mode
loud.
on Amazon Music.
Reach out, touch faith.
Reach out and touch faith.
Your own personal Jesus. Someone to be your friend, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to be your friend, someone who's there. Feeling alone, you're all alone. Blessed by the Son. Living the receiver, I'll make you a believer. Tasting the best of me to us. Maybe something changes. You need something less. I want to live in you, I wanna forgive you. Reach out, touch faith. Reach out, touch faith. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to be your friend, someone who cares. Your own personal Jesus. Someone to be your friend, someone who's there. Feeling unknown and you're all alone. Blessed by the Son.
Feel that fire.
Lift up the receiver, I'll make you a believer.
Start believing in yourself and your own inner power. Roll up, switch perspective. Make yourself a believer in yourself.
Reach out, touch your own personal Jesus.
much, Crapola. Was that ending intense for you? It was intense for me. As I was listening to Professor Sky, who likes to analyze music, check him out, he was talking about that first opening, the opening of the song "So You'll Never Work in Television Again," and how it's like a heartbeat. It just like grabs your attention, and like at the end there, I was like, that was a lot of heartbeat, and I was like, when it was like reach out and touch faith, I was thinking I touched my heart, and I was like listening to I was feeling my heart beating at the same time as that like dun, 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 echoing. It's like we are so in charge of ourselves. We are the only ones that can actually make any changes in our lives, because no one can realize things for us. People can inspire us. We can get inspired by our guides and our our faith, or even negativity. We can like get caught up in all of that, right? But really deep down in our hearts, that's where the truth is. I keep saying, what's your truth? What's your truth? But if your truth actually, like if you look inside and your truth actually sucks, then work on that maybe a little bit. Because we can want to be independent, but we really have to be careful. All of our actions has a ripple reaction. And if we're not aware of ourselves, then we're not aware of the impact we're having on others. And so like the videos I did that were a bit brazen, I was like, that's not me, but it was in that moment, it was. So we have to own up and accept all of the parts of ourselves that want to be expressed and that live inside of us. We have to be careful. We just have to be mindful. Don't go with the ones that are negative. Let go of those attachments and habits. Wake up to how you yourself can make changes, and then start to implement them. Integrate and evolve. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's what we came here to have these human bodies to do. And our hearts are our electrical impulses of all these energies. And it's actually got its own brain too. So watch what your heart is leading you towards. Are you just listening to your ego? Or are you really in your higher heart, in that seat of the soul where you're watching what your motives are? Because that is actually what you're going to create in your life. So, no more focusing on the bad or the past. We're focusing on the bright, awesome, amazing future that we want. And you know what? I always wanted to be a drummer. I think my dad was a drummer, and I've had so many drummer boyfriends because I actually just really want to I really want to learn how to play drums. And I highly recommend that song, You'll Never Work in Television Again. And use your anger constructively, burn it away, or use it constructively and get creative with that fire, that life force, that prana. It can do so much in our lives. It can create rainbows and ripple effects of goodness. So that's all I'm saying by stay golden. Stay in the light. Watch your karma. Be good for everybody. Have like the win-win-win attitude. And listen. Open your mind, open your heart, and listen to your guides. They're actually trying to tell you the truth of who you are. And your soul really, really wants you to now take care of it. So let's start taking care of our souls and understanding what our true motives are. And if you don't know what anyone else's motives are or why they're acting the way they are, take a step back and observe, because sometimes we can just get too involved in other people's things, right? And we really do have to take care of ourselves first. It's like putting the mask on ourselves first so that we can take care of our kids. I'm staying sober now for me. I'm making improvements for me, and that is lining me up with the right situation moving forward. I trust. Sending love and light to everybody. Keep that smile. Be proud of who you are. Be your own personal Jesus. And that's how we evolve. Have a wonderful day.